Morris Goff, founder of U.S. Constitution Project Incorporated. This is the first of a series of videos using the registered title, The Hijacking of America. The videos will describe how large segments of the U.S. population, including U.S. presidents, abandon our Constitution in favor of an imaginary theory. While the title hijacking has a negative connotation, our corporate name connotes the long-term goal of promoting our Constitution over that theory. I became aware late in life of the topics addressed in this video. During a recent online course by Hillsdale College, I was shocked at how much of American history I did not know. Surprised at my own ignorance, I conducted a survey and discovered that most Americans are no better informed than I. Scholars write books about these topics, but they're primarily read by other scholars. It's not difficult to explain my ignorance. By age 10, 4 older brothers had been drafted into the Army and sent to war. From then until now, 70 years later, our country has experienced a non-stop drama consisting of Cold War, hot wars, space exploration, the resignation of a president, the Cuban Revolution, and the collapse of the Soviet Union, more than enough to obscure events that commenced in 1875. I made a decision to spend the rest of my life informing others of the things I had learned. The United States and our Constitution were respected around the world during our first 100 years. The gift of the Statue of Liberty is symbolic of that respect. The world began changing following the publication of a theory about the evolution of governments in 1875 titled The Theory of State. It was written by a Swiss jurist named Johann Caspar Brünschi and was adopted by Germany's education community, which named it the German state theory. The theory held that governments evolve, progressing over time, hence the term progressive. Progressive theory and doctrines are not compatible with the concept of natural rights as proclaimed in our Declaration of Independence, nor with the checks and balances of our Constitution. The hijacking of America commenced when American students went to Germany for advanced studies and bought into the theory. They returned home with disdain for our Constitution to become professors in our universities. Examples are Frank Johnson Goodnow and Ira Remsen, both of whom became presidents of Johns Hopkins University. Nearly all progressives during the so-called progressive era either studied in Germany or were students of others who did. Within a few decades, the rise of Germany's Third Reich and Adolf Hitler proved the fallacy of the entire theory. However, progressivism had by then taken a strong hold on America's education system and has continued to metastasize throughout much of our society. In short order, Republican Theodore Roosevelt and Democrat Woodrow Wilson were promoting progressivism as presidents of the United States. Roosevelt founded the Progressive Party, and Wilson left on record his broad objections to the concept of natural rights and to the U.S. Constitution. This segment is about 2 more recent presidents, also Democrat and Republican, who believed in our Constitution. They were John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism.
Returning now to the continuing metastasizing of progressivism. Recall JFK's appeal to ask not what your country can do for you. 50 years later, President Barack Obama expressed his vision of idealism in The Life of Julia, describing how this fictitious person received assistance from the government from childhood through old age. Obama is in the same party as JFK. How it has changed. Today's progressives cling to the tenets of progressivism as taught by Woodrow Wilson. Like Wilson, Obama does not subscribe to the Constitution's checks and balances. Like Wilson, he believes the Constitution does not mean what it says, but is subject to interpretation. Like Wilson, he believes people are not sufficiently intelligent to govern themselves, but require administrative experts, such as Gruber, to write laws. Jonathan Gruber is the architect of Obamacare, who famously referred to the stupidity of the American voter in explaining the necessity for a lack of transparency in order to get the law passed. The sovereignty of the United States is threatened by progressives. Our national debt of $60,000 per person and increasing with no end in sight threatens our sovereignty. Obama's plan to bring thousands of Middle Easterners into the U.S. threatens our sovereignty, even as we see the countries of Europe threatened. We have just one Constitution, and every split decision by the Supreme Court is a threat to our sovereignty. These are among the reasons I want to pass on what I have learned to others, and why the Hijacking of America video series is being produced. This story is continued on our website, www.the-hijacking-of-america.org. Thank you for supporting this important project.